My name is Heather Canning, and I own a little company in Jupiter, Florida called One Organized Mom. We have been in business a little over 10 years. A little bit of backstory. I started my business. My husband got laid off. We had three young children at the time, and I just needed to help put food on the table, and I love to clean and organize, so I started cleaning. One thing led to another. One client referred us, and before you know it, we had a business. We started hiring employees, and we're really proud of what we've been able to build. We have really invested time and money in ourselves and growing our business to be able to grow it to where we want it to be and for it to be scalable. So the last 3 to 4 years, we've really been concentrating on hiring, building our culture, our training program, just to be able to deliver a higher quality of service to our clients. The high quality and the consistent part of cleaning. There are three things that we've really wanted to be able to build and to focus on through the last 3 to 4 years. The first one is we really wanted people to stay with our company. We wanted that longevity. If we can get anybody to stay between 1 to 2 years, that is awesome, and anything over 2 years is even better. The second thing that we were looking for individuals who just really wanted more for themselves, whether they wanted a new car or they wanted better skills for themselves or to buy a home. Like, that's really important to us to be able to help them achieve those goals. And the third one is that we really just wanted our staff to be invested in what we did and what we had to offer to our clients. We've shifted probably in the last 2 years to focus on our staff. We put our staff before our clients because we feel that if the staff is happy in their job, then they're going to want to do an amazing job for the clients. And then it's full circle, right? So what I really want to talk to you today about is our hiring program or our hiring process and our interview process. We use 100% Indeed. We don't have any other plugins for it, and we really do put our applicants through the ringer. They have to really jump through a lot of hoops in order to get a job here. So I'm going to take the next half an hour, 45 minutes or so, and show you guys how we do that. So let's go. First, I'm going to start with Indeed, and we spend about around $500 a month. If your ad spend is about $500 a month with Indeed, it unlocks different level that you're able to do more with your platform with Indeed. So the job that we have right now, we're able to instill pictures at the headers, so it really sets us apart from our competitors because our competitors aren't doing that. So it's really important. There is other information as well in the company settings, and we won't go through that today. I really want to show you what our application looks like through Indeed. I'm the only one that does our Indeed platform, and I spend anywhere between 10 to 15 minutes a day on our applicants. We were getting anywhere between 500-600 a month through Indeed pre-COVID. Our numbers did fall quite a bit through that time, and now we're back up to anywhere between 15 to 25 a day. So here is our one job that we have active right now. I do find it very difficult if we have more than one job at the same time, just because of the level that we're at. But sometimes we are hiring for part-time. If we're hiring for office staff, it gets a little convoluted. So just to let you know that. So here's our ad. You will see through our ads that I love my heart emojis. Again, I want to do something different. I want to stand out from my local competitors. I really do spend the time to research across the country who's doing what, and even collaborating with other business owners and what they're doing and what works for them. And then I like to take those little pieces and put it together for us. So this heart just stands out a great deal for us. Now, in some markets, you can't use the emojis. So sometimes you have to just kind of watch that. So our ad is, do you love to clean? Come clean with us. Professional house cleaners wanted. Pretty simple. Our ad really just speaks to them and what we have to offer them and why they want to come work for us. Now, you will also notice that we don't talk about the job here because we do that through our interviewing process. So the most important thing for me too is getting them to read the important parts. Like down here is a paragraph. Like we hold them accountable to following the directions laid out in the job ad and all the templates that I will show you. For me, that's a test that they're going to be able to follow direction, because when they're out in the field, we need them to follow direction, right? Or follow policy. So we've also, through the years, have created a pretty strong culture within our company. And several years ago, I started posting on Facebook all these pictures of the staff, thinking that our clients would see that and want to use our services. Well, what I didn't realize going through it was that we were starting to attract people to come work for us as well. So that was really huge. And because we've done that, we want to send them to social media and so they can see what kind of employer that we are. So down here, bolded, it just says, please submit your resume through Indeed. After you submit your resume, you'll get an email from Indeed to complete a phone interview assessment. They also need to complete the application on our website, and we've given them 24 hours to do so. So everything is timed, and it's easier for me to manage. Again, it's following the directions. Something else that's really shifted gears with us and helped with our numbers and applicants twofold was how we pay out. So it's very clear on our Indeed application here, or our posting, that we start out $12 an hour, and we do pay increases after 30 days, after 90 days, and every 6 months going forward. So instead of doing $12 an hour, we shifted it to show what we pay out for the month. So people see this range and they're like, holy cow, I can make $2,400 cleaning houses. And you ask why there's a big shift here, because if there's a 4-week pay period in a month, you're making $12 an hour times 40 hours is $19.20. And then on the every 2 to 3 months, it's a 5-week payout. And then that is $2,400 a month. So we want to attract people with that big number. And then once we get in, we explain to them how our pay increases work, and they can be making a lot more money out in that first year. So that's our job ad here. I also tell everybody to go on Indeed. I like to do this, that I went on Indeed and I created a profile for a fictitious person, and that fictitious person actually worked for me. So therefore, when all of my competitors post a job on Indeed, I get notified so I can see what they're doing. It makes me stay current, and I really like to see what everybody else is going through. Highly recommend that. Okay, so let's see, what else do we do in here? You can create customized questions, which I really like. We've chosen right now to do how many years of housekeeping experience do you have? Do you speak English? We only hire English speaking individuals. Are they willing to undergo a background check? And this next one is a customizable question. And throughout our whole process, you will hear me say, if something doesn't work, or if we encounter an issue with the type of people we're hiring, then we tweak the system to fix that problem going forward. So right now we're having an issue with people being able to do the work at our level. We all know that not everybody is cut out for house cleaning, and we'll go through our process and we'll show you the good, the bad, the ugly. And people still think that they can do this job. We'll hire them. They interview wonderfully. First day on the job, they're pushing a vacuum cleaner like this, looking at their nails. That's not going to work for us, and we really don't want to spend any more time training that person, so we'll just cut our losses. So really now we're digging into, okay, well, how do we gauge people for their stamina? So we just come right out and we'll ask the question. So the question is currently, how would you rate your level of energy and stamina between a 1 to 5? And people actually fill these answers out. If people are sending me their resumes and they're not answering the questions, I really don't want to move forward with them, because again, it's following the direction. 10 years ago, when I first hired my first employee, and I did it for probably the first 4 years of having our company, we worked out of our home. And anytime somebody wanted to interview with us, before I met with them, I said, okay, come to the interview. I need these things. Do you have a piece of paper? Do you have a pen? I give them my address, the time, the date. And I would say, I need 5 things. I need 10 references, 10 people. There'll be like 10 people. I don't know 10 people. It could be your grandma, your neighbor, your aunt, your sister, whoever. 10 people that will vouch for you that you're a good person. But each person, I needed 5 things: their name, their phone number, their address, how long they've known you for, and how you know them. Did I call all 10? No, but again, it was a test to make sure that they could follow the directions. So that has really been huge for us from day one. So, all right, let's move on here. I'm going to show you how we process all of our applicants, because you say, oh my gosh, 400 applicants a month, that's a lot, right? But we've really fine-tuned the process, so it's really not that cumbersome. So within Indeed, and they have updated their platform and they continue to do so, which we absolutely love, you have these 4 degrees. So we really use these. We utilize them to do that 24-hour time, okay? So right now I have 12 people in my queue that have submitted their resumes. Now, again, because it's only 12, I'm not going to go through and I'm not going to review them, because we need to make sure that they have done the things I've asked them to do, right? They have to do the phone assessment and they have to submit their application online through our website. So right here, you can already see an incomplete. They did not do their assessment. Only one person has done their assessment. 2 people have done their assessment, their phone assessment. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to mark all of them and I'm going to send out a message and a reminder to the other 10 that they didn't do what they were supposed to do. So I'll go through here. I will click on all of them except for those 2. And this is the most important thing in Indeed. We have a ton of templates. Anytime I find myself typing in the same thing over again more than once, I will create a template for, so it's just click and it's that easy. So right here, I have a 24 hours to complete information. So this message will go out to them. Don't forget, you need to do these 2 things. Send. That's it. Easy. But now they're all still marked waiting review. So I'm going to go through again. I'm going to unclick those 2 because those 2 people did follow one of those steps. And then I'm going to change their status to review that I've already reviewed them. So now they automatically go from this bucket to this bucket. And then they'll sit in there for 24 hours. And if they don't do what they needed to do, then we reject them with a nice letter saying, best of luck in your job search. Okay, so these 2 people here have completed the assessment. And our application is on our website, so you can all check it out. It's a pretty lengthy application. I understand that you're going to look at it and think that I'm absolutely crazy, but unfortunately, we make our people jump through hoops. So the people who are, on unemployment and they're just trying to check the box, they won't go to that next step. And I want them to weed themselves out, right? Because I don't want to do the work. So this is our whole application. You guys can all check it out on your own. But we've tweaked the system to fit our needs. Almost all of our clients have cats and dogs. So do you have allergies? Do you have fears? Can you lift 50 pounds? Can you bend, stretch, and do all these things for 8 hours? A day, 5 days a week. We do have different time schedules that we start. We start as early as 5:45 in the morning. Do you want the early shift? Do you have any allergies to cleaning products? Do you have any scheduling commitments to work around? All of these things we've experienced over the years. So we're trying to wipe those out right away before we even waste our time interviewing with them. And then it goes into, your current employer, your last employer, your references, and just other questions like tell us why you want to be considered for this job or anything else that you'd like to share with us regarding a job. And if we hire you, when can you start? So again, very lengthy process, but it just has really worked well for us. So right now, this form right here is attached to our software system. So I can just click in here really quick and see if these other 2 people here, Natalie and Herschel, have actually went through that process. And as you see, they have not. So they have not submitted the applications through our website. So in a perfect world, because I'm recording this, I would have checked that before I hit that. But because I didn't follow the directions, I'm going to kick them to the same bucket that the other people are in. And we're going to change the status and put them into review. Now here's the reviewed. So these are all the people that I just clicked in here. So anybody who has not followed the directions in the last 24 hours will just reject them. And if I were to do that, let's say all these people didn't send in their information, I could go in here, I can hit reject, and then it'll kick up a template form. Sorry, you weren't chosen. Following directions is a real big part of what we do. We really do try to keep it positive, because we know if we don't keep it positive, people can come back and say not nice things. And I don't want that to be the taste in their mouth when dealing with our company. So we just really keep it very light, very positive. So contacting. So once somebody submits their application on our website, once they do the phone assessment, then we put them in another queue, and this is the contacting queue. So right here, I utilize these little check boxes here because they're color coded to these guys over here. Once they do those two things, then you're required to complete a Tony Robbins DISC assessment, email it back to me, and then you go into the queue for interviewing. I know you're going to tell me that's so many steps. I'm never going to have anybody do it, but I'm going to tell you, I thought the same thing. And people are doing it. People want a job with us, and that's what they're doing. So let's go down to this young lady right here. We actually hired her, and she's still in a contacting phase. But I'm going to show you like what the messages look like that we sent out to them. This is, again, everything is in a template, so I don't have to key these in, all right? Let's see. Here's our template right here. This was added in, so don't look at that. But it says that thank you for completing the phone assessment and submitting your application. Being able to follow directions is a big part of our jobs. The final step before scheduling an interview is to complete the DISC assessment. There's no wrong answers. We just want to see if we will be a good fit for you, right? We don't want to say if you're going to be a good fit for us, because people get very defensive over that. And again, we did that, and that's what happened. So we changed that going forward to make sure people walk away or have a good, warm feeling about our company. So it's all about them at this point. We do pride ourselves on hiring amazing staff. When the DISC has been completed, please email the results to blah, blah, blah. So again, they have 24 hours to do this. Here's the link. They're in this queue for 24 hours. So again, I'm going into all these buckets, all these funnels, and if it's all date stamped, and because I work it a couple minutes in the morning, a couple minutes in the afternoon to get them to those buckets, so when that 24-hour hits, I'm just able to go ahead and delete it. Now, I will also tell you, I am not reviewing a lot of the information until it gets to the DISC process. Now, the application that's on our website, there's a few key questions in there that that will unqualify them, the allergic to cats and dogs, or if they have any, I go to school, I have to be off by 2. Well, that's not going to work for us. So we do look at those general questions and how they're answered if we do move forward to this DISC. But then once they submit the DISC, then we'll get everything out, review it all, and then we will set them up for an interview. I love the interview process. So I'm going to show you that next. So again, I can't stress enough utilizing the templates. That just is a huge time saver for us. So, and I can go into, again, contacting, and I can see that we sent out a DISC assessment to this person because it's yellow. Once we receive the DISC, then it's green, and it stays green until we go into interview. And then once they interview, then we either will, if they don't show up, obviously we reject them, or if we hire them, then they move into a hiring status. So that's how we're able to maintain it in Indeed and not put forth a lot of time. Another thing I'm going to tell you, Indeed, there's 3 messages here, and I won't go into them because obviously this is a live feed, but your messages are up here, and it says I have 5 of them. Okay, Indeed really wants to make sure that you're talking back to your applicants in a timely manner, and they reward you for doing that. So just realize it when you're utilizing this platform. If you keep your applicants on Indeed throughout the whole hiring process, that you're engaging with them and they actually mark them hired, they reward you by sending more applicants your way. So this is why we decided to utilize this platform and not put it into an automation through Zapier or ClickUp or any other, another party, because we want to be rewarded that way. And because we've found a way, it's not too time consuming to work at all. But you just want to make sure that you do read through your messages in a timely manner. And as you can see, I have a few in there to go. All right, so we're going to jump through now that everybody's submitted their DISC assessment. And again, Tony Robbins' DISC assessment is completely free. You don't have to pay for it as long as they're doing it, because you can only submit one Tony Robbins DISC assessment per email address is how it is. So we just have them do it and they submit it to us. We also track all of our DISC assessments. If anybody doesn't know what that is, contact me. I'm more than happy to have a conversation. I am by far not an expert in this, but we have started utilizing this to match up our people and make sure that they're a good fit for us. Okay, so pre-COVID, we had group interviews. It was awesome. We would do up to 5 people. My operations manager and myself both conduct all of our interviews. So I'm going to tell you really quick what we did pre-COVID and how we altered it and how we're doing it now. So pre-COVID, we would invite them through Indeed for a job interview. They have to confirm that they're going to be here. We'll have everything printed out. They show up front. We don't tell people that it's a group interview because people tend to freak out and they don't want to show up because they're too nervous. So once they come in the door, you can see that everybody's tension is kind of high because there's other people fighting for the job. We're always hiring more than just one person. So we just tell them, like, this is, a group presentation. We're going to present who we are, what the job entails, everything about us, that anything one-on-one does happen behind closed doors. So it just kind of like puts them at ease and they're a little bit more comfortable. So they fill all the applications out. We would take them back to our conference room. We presented them with a presentation. There are 2 big things why you would not qualify to work here. And we do tell them that anybody can walk out whenever they feel like we're not a good fit. We don't want to waste your time. But for us, we are a drug-free workplace. We explain what that means. They'd have to pass a drug test and that we put everybody through 2 background checks. If there's any felonies or any charges for theft or drug, unfortunately that disqualifies them. And we have had people walk out and we're totally okay with that. But getting to the point to be okay with rejection, I know, is a whole other ballgame, right? So once we did the presentation, how that works is it takes about half an hour. I stand up and I talk about, myself, the business, our history. I talk about like the personal aspects of working here. And then our ops manager talks about the actual job itself. So we really have a structured format in how that looks. So I spend 10 minutes, she spends 10 minutes, and then we have a presentation showing them what a day in our life looks like. So it's 30 minutes. And then we would make sure everybody fills out all the paperwork. We would hold one-on-ones. So we have a form, which I will show you, that, again, I would do a 10-minute one-on-one with somebody, and I touch on that personal aspect of it. And then she would touch on the job aspect of it. So how we would do it, because we have 5 people, we want to get them in and out in an hour. I would have somebody sit in my office. I would do an interview. She would do an interview in her office. If we liked them, they would go back into the waiting room, and then they would meet with the other person. The people who we did not particularly care for, did not feel they would be a good fit for us, we would just spend the first interview with them and say, thank you, we'll be in touch. So we would not waste their time or our time. And I would say about 50% of the people do go through that second interview. So let's go fast forward now through COVID. We don't want people coming into the office. So what we decided to do is we do Zoom calls once a week at 9:00 in the morning, Tuesdays and Thursdays. So we will invite people. And again, you have to confirm that you will be there. I think the most we've had is about 6 people, I think, on the Zoom call. So we'll do the same presentation. I do my 10 minutes, she does her 10 minutes, and then she does the presentation. And then after the presentation, you have to write a letter. saying why you want to join us. I know you're like thinking that we're absolutely crazy, right? But it's working. And the people that we're hiring are awesome. So they have to send a letter in why they want a job with us, because we want them to think about the pictures we show them. We want them to think about what we have to offer and what they're looking for in a job. So if they don't send us that letter again in that timestamp, that 24-hour period, we just let them go, and that's fine. It's their choice. But once they send the letter, then we'll do a one-on-one Zoom call with our ops manager. And then if she likes them, then we bring them in face-to-face and I meet them. And then we decide if we're going to hire them going forward. So that's how that looks like now. We have had to adjust. We were doing 2 Zoom meetings and then hiring them. So we were not meeting them until they started. But we really felt that sometimes you can't get a good read on people through video. So we were hiring people and they really weren't working out, and we discovered that. So then we started doing that second interview and having that face-to-face interview, and that was a game changer. So I can't stress enough to you that how many times that we just discovered something wasn't working. It would work, but then it wouldn't work, or we realized, okay, this is what we're finding. So we would tweak our process, and it has really, really helped us a great deal. Some examples of that are we would have people that would start and their bodies just weren't physically able to do the job, and they would quit after 2 or 3 days. So they would come in and get their paycheck, and I would ask them, like, what could we have done differently to show you what this job entails? And one woman actually said to me, she goes, well, you could have asked me if I had any bone issues because it's just too hard on my bones. Well, I can't by law ask you that, right? So we decided, okay, how can we tweak it? So we tweaked it to say 3 times through the presentation that I will show you that we want you to think long and hard about this job. This is a labor job, and most people don't quite get that. But if you have something wrong with your back or your hip or your elbow or your shoulder or whatever, we may not be a good fit for you. Again, you're hearing me say we won't be a good fit for you, not that you won't be a good fit for us, because we've really discovered that is huge as well for them. Let's see, another one that somebody was having an issue with was people would call in sick. Okay, so you remember in our job ad, it said that you get a raise after 30 days. So that's going through training. You're not allowed to call in sick. You're not allowed to call in for a flat tire. Your babysitter didn't show up. We don't care whatever the excuse is. You have to be here for the first 30 days. The first time that happens, unfortunately, we let them go, but we are very upfront with that. So if they have any issues, like if they have a court date or a doctor's appointment or some personal date they have to take off, they just need to let us know ahead of time, because that's a real big issue for us. But guess what? Because we built that into our process, it's not an issue for us anymore. So those are the things that we just tweak along the way when something pops up. Okay, so let's say somebody has submitted their DISC assessment, and now we're going into an interview. So I'm going to show you this awesome presentation that I think my 15-year-old put together for us, so it was really cool. So this is just off of, PowerPoint or something. So again, we pull this up on the phone so everybody can see it on their phone. I'm just going to go through really quick, but, we go through and we talk about the dust. These are before and after pictures. This is what some of our houses look like. This is sinks. These are just regular cleanings. These are non-initial cleanings, but it's showing them the nasty part of our job, because we don't want to sell, come work for us because we're a great company, but hey, don't forget, we actually clean for a living. So we wanted to find some dirty, nasty pictures. That took 3 minutes of doing the job to make those sinks look like that. We're a detailed company, right? So we're dusting light bulbs each and every time. So we want to showcase that. Before a refrigerator, it's all in the details. These are some nasty showers. Like, you're going to go into houses and they could look even worse than this, but you know what? After doing it, this is what they look like. That's a big deal. Bathrooms, most of our 20% of our job is picking up after people, 80% is actually cleaning. So this is what we walked into and this is how we left it. These are some dirty toilets, I know, right? But we do find the humor in this. We say, okay, that's not the toilet. What do you think is in the toilet? It's just, built up and whatever was in there. But these are the after pictures. Like, how amazing is that? But you know what? It's the chemical. We let the chemicals do most of the job that we don't have to. Again, detail showing the water stains on these faucets, before and after the kitchen. Like, some clients need a little bit more, TLC in their homes than others, and we know that. We're not a biohazard company. We don't handle, animal or human matter, but this is kitty litter, and that the field staff would call the office and say, hey, can I do this? Ceiling fan. Again, we're getting those dirty pictures. This is behind an oven. This is staging, this is how it was found and this is how we want to leave it for the client. So it's just those little details that I am painting a picture. And you know what? Some people are going to look at these pictures and they do. They're like, this is not for me. Sorry, waste your time. And we are so okay with that. We talk about, how a bed is the focal point of a bedroom, things like that, the little details that our office staff do for our clients. And here we really focus about our pets. You cannot have allergies. You can't have beers because the pets sense it. We're not a good fit for you if you have those issues. We love to have fun with our staff. So we just kind of put some fun pictures in here of us. And then we even included some of our family because we're a family-based company. Now, remember when I told you guys about they have to write a letter as to why they want a job here? So we came up with our 5 C's. So we go into detail and we explain to them what the 5 C's mean to us on commitment, communication, compassion, community, and character. And they have 24 hours. And, if we're not a good fit for you, then don't worry about sending in the letter. Not a big deal. We wish you all the luck. But I'm going to tell you, and I got this idea from somebody else. This was not my brainchild. People write the letters, and some of the examples that people write absolutely blow my mind, but they do it. And these are the people that I want, because these are the people who are going to make a difference in my clients' lives. So this is really just another level of awesomeness in our business. So that's the presentation. And Thomasina, our operations manager, actually goes through this whole presentation with them. And while she is doing this part, I've already gone into their Indeed accounts for everybody who was on the call, and I've sent them, again, another template with the 5 C's, the letter, and how to move forward with it. So she'll say, Heather's already sent the message to you through an Indeed. So go ahead and take a look at it and just have it submitted to us the next 24 hours, and we'll move forward with that interview. Again, what that interview looks like is Thomasina will do a Zoom call. Our operations manager actually lives in Georgia, and we're in Florida. So she'll do that Zoom call with them, and if she likes them, then she sends them to me, and I do that face-to-face. So what I wanted to also show you guys is a couple other tools that we utilize. Going back to that, here's our interview tracking sheet. So I track this by the month. I know my dates are off, but what I do is the date of the interview and the name of the applicant and the if they come to the group interview, and if they write the letter, and if they get to the one-on-ones. I'm tracking that because I really want to laser focus like where we're spending our money and how we're spending it and how many people we're hiring through that $500. So I've committed to Indeed to spend $6,000 a year, which is a lot of money. But again, that's the only thing that we're paying for hiring our applicants. So I do track it this way, and down here I track it by the month. Also, excuse me, we talked about the DISC. So this has really helped us. These are all of our staff and their DISC and their motivators. That is really important for us when we're pairing people up, because we do work in solos. We work in teams of 2 and teams of 3. So that's just important for us. I'm also going to show you, if I can get there, sorry, what it looks like our forms that we utilize through our hiring, our interview process. So we have this one form, and this is all done in-house. The applicant's name, if they get to that face-to-face interview. Okay, so their arrival time when they arrive, we want to make sure that they're going to be reliable. But we have like their DISC assessment, their reliability scores, their all of the information on here, any questions that we want to ask them if they're eligible for hire and when they can start. So we utilize this form every time we do an interview. And this is our interview questions. So remember I told you that I do the personal part of our interview and the ops manager does the more of the job part of the interview. So how we broke that up is that we just have a sheet of paper and one side is for myself and the other side is for the ops manager. And these are the questions that we ask. We have really realized that I love to talk. I'm a high I, so I'm a people person and I love to hear my own voice, right? But unfortunately, in a job interview, I have to tone that down because I don't want to do all the talking because I can sell myself. That's not a problem, but I need them to sell themselves. And it's not really selling them, but I really want to engage them with conversation. I want them to tell me stories about themselves. So we've really, really focused a lot on that. So this one is for our ops manager. These are all the questions that she asks. And then these would be my questions that I ask. We do try to err on the caution of asking questions that obviously are not legal. Like, do you have any medical conditions? Well, we can't ask that. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to ask it a different way. We cannot ask, can you smoke? But guess what? We're a smoke-free company. So we tell them what that means. That from the moment you walk in to the moment that you leave, you're not allowed to smoke or vape. Whether you're on lunch or break, it does not matter, and the reasons why. And we are a drug-free workplace, so we also explain to them what that means. And as an employer, that's very important for me to let all of my staff know what that means. So what that means is if you get injured on the job, you have to seek medical care. The first thing they're going to do is drug test you. And when that drug test does not, it comes up positive, you forfeit your medical care. So you will get treated for that one treatment, but they won't treat you going forward. That's the laws in Florida. So check your laws. Don't listen to me on that one. Every state is different and for so many things. So I always hear so many people giving advice, but it just depends on the state that you live in. So always keep that in mind when we're on these Facebook, pages and people give you advice and what works well for them. And also remember too, listen, this is working amazing in my market. I've shared this technique with many other owners and it's working very well for them. But you know what? Maybe some pieces aren't working well for them, so they tweak it to make it work for them. So just something to really keep in mind. But this has really helped us a great deal in hiring people and having longevity with us. That's really the name of the game for us. We want people, again, if I can get people to work here for a year, 2, I am so totally going to be okay with that. And that's really what has happened here. It's everything. I know that everybody is always searching for that one thing to fix this problem. It's never going to be just one thing. There's so many things. It's building our culture. It's doing pay raises every 6 months, showing them how they can make money and doing reviews and posting those reviews so they can see what do I have to do to get to the next level and not waiting until that 6-month period. Engaging with them, engaging with the staff to make sure they matter to me is so, it has done an amazing thing with my job, with my business. I sit here in the office, I do all the business owner things and everybody else handles it, but they need to know that they matter to me and to One Organized Mom. So that's really important as well. So it's just so many things that come together that really make a difference. I hope that you guys got a lot out of this. And even if you only got a couple nuggets, hey, that's really cool too. If anybody has any questions, you guys can always hit me up, Heather with One Organized Mom. You can always Facebook me. I usually get that pretty often. But I hope this helps in your hiring and your interview process as much as it has helped us. So, all right, you guys have a great day. Bye.